What's going on, guys, and welcome to another episode of Loot Chest on Tasty Loot Gaming. In case you don't know, Loot Chest is the show where we talk about a random topic and have discussion about it. My name's Seth.
Chevy.
I'm Cody.
And today on Loot Chest, we're going to be talking about what makes a game worth $60. Recently, people have been talking about Rainbow Six Siege coming out, and some people think it's not quite worth $60. Doesn't have a single player or real single player. Some people say it doesn't have enough content. So we're going to get into a conversation talking about essentially what we personally think a $60 game is. Really, there's no right or wrong answer to this. This is just purely opinion. So let's get into that. Okay, so $60 games, we can obviously talk about indie games, stuff like that, but they normally aren't $60. Let's talk about big games you're going to pay top dollar for, not special edition, stuff like that. Let's just jump into it. So briefly, what is a $60 game to you?
It's weird because I'm on the fence because I like a good, but there's no such thing as like a single player game anymore. Mm-hmm. It's always, there's either like a multiplayer aspect of it or they're like you were saying before, it's special edition or whatever. But $60 game, I haven't bought it yet, but to me, like a game like Just Cause 3 would kind of warrant $60 to me, or like Grand Theft Auto without the multiplayer stuff because it's just like there's so much to it. I think Just Cause 3 is maybe a little bit different. But, Grand Theft Auto, to me, is a $60 game.
Absolutely. I would completely agree with that.
Because it's story. There's just so much to do. You can play golf. You can play tennis, car race. There's just so much to it in the actual world. And then, you get into the online thing. But Grand Theft Auto, to me, is, immediately when that game was announced, I was like, I'm buying that game.
I'll get to you in a sec, but sure. the biggest thing that pops into my mind anytime I think about $60 game is production.
Yeah.
Production is the biggest thing. So who worked on it, how long they work on it, how much effort was put into it, blah, 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 blah. So content, of course, is important, but a game like Ark, which is like $20 to $30, isn't it?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Full of fucking content.
Sure.
Really deep. Great looking game.
One of the most demanding games on PC, I'd say.
Yeah. Very demanding, very cool game. Yeah. But I agree with the price point because it's indie developed. It has some issues that you would not expect from a AAA game. Mm-hmm. And it's off the Unreal Engine. It seems like it's a great game, but it seems like it's kind of thrown together quickly. But it's a fantastic game. But for some reason, that game does not scream $60 to me. Mm-hmm. But when you bring up Grand Theft Auto, I think Grand Theft Auto is one of the greatest examples you could bring up because Grand Theft Auto 5 is an achievement. And I've had people tell me before that game sucks, that it doesn't offer anything new. Who cares if it looks good or has new technology? Because I was trying to say, dude, somebody actually programmed people just doing monotonous tasks to make the world feel real. And people are like, that doesn't innovate, doesn't change anything. And the innovation fucking argument's stupid. But just that amount of work and into people, I'm a technology guy. I love fucking new things like that. So playing a game that's that immersive is insane. And people had to fucking do that. They had to make that algorithm. And that's, in a sense, like I said, production. The production ups the value of the game to me.
This is really morbid, but if you drive as fast as you can and rear end somebody, watching that person hit the wheel or the car and just fucking. It's super morbid, like I said, but it's just that to me is
detail,
someone freaking programmed that.
Took the time to do it, yeah.
I'm like, that's insane.
Just like Metal Gear Solid, all the Metal Gear Solid games and Metal Gear Solid 5. Many weird little things all over the game that people were just like, I have an idea, let's fucking not talk about it, let's do it. And that's production.
That's another game to me that I would say is worth $60 is Metal Gear Solid because there's just there's so much to that game.
Yeah.
Oh, it goes on forever.
Oh yeah, you can't. It's like an arcade game. The points, there's all. You can just keep going.
Keep
and
it's just keep leveling, you keep getting more money.
Which most of the even Metal Gear Solid 4 was like that too. You just want to do better. But
I didn't get your opinion on that though. So what kind of dictates a $6 game to you?
There's a lot of things going on there. For like you said, production, and essentially what you said is content.
Yeah.
And I'm with you, both you on that, but another huge one for me too, depending on how much content or how much production is behind it. Sometimes I don't necessarily need a super high production as long as I'm getting enough of the content in a long enough time frame. Yeah. And I do think the dollar per hour is a factor.
You are really heavy on that.
Yeah,
And I do agree with that, but I've gotten lighter on that since I bought some pretty questionable timed games.
Well, and it does, like I said, it does depend, but that is definitely a large factor for me, because if I'm going to drop $60 on something and I play it for 10 hours, I'm usually upset at that point.
No, definitely.
I'm not getting my money's worth.
Sure.
The only time I've spent $6 on a game that, I mean, I didn't beat the game, was the Order 1886.
Oh, yeah.
It's like an 8-hour game.
Yeah.
No multiplayer, blah, 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 blah. So you better really like that game because you got to replay it, and that's all that you can do. I still defend that purchase, though, because I knew what I was getting into. I knew it wasn't a long game. I knew it was just a technical feat.
Right.
And I know that a shitload of people worked on that game, and they achieved something visually that I don't think I've seen on console. So am I disappointed in it? Actually, not really, because I already knew what I was getting into. But do I know that I essentially spent $6 on a game that barely has playability? Yeah, but in a weird way, I'm not upset about it because
But
I
you
feel
liked
like
it.
Yeah, exactly. I enjoyed
At that point,
it.
it's like, what's like with games like that, it's just like, did you enjoy it? Like,
Yeah, it just kind of goes out of my norm for what would normally dictate me buying a game, because I am very much like you. If I feel like I'm not going to play that game for very long, I don't want to buy it for $60. Exactly.
Yeah.
One thing I was going to bring up with you, because I feel like we're going to differ on this, and not in like a butting heads way, but like I feel like Fallout 4 is like a $40 game to me, and I assume you probably view it as a $60 game because of its wealth of content.
I bought it for $60.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah.
So did I.
But no, I mean, but there's just so much. With most Bethesda games, like that you're gonna end up spending
a lot of time in it.
Yeah, I mean, like I spent on Fallout 3. Like I don't even. I played on Xbox 360, but I mean that was like the first game that I got like mostly everything done in that game. Like I spent a lot of time. Like I can't even name the hours. Skyrim, same way. Oblivion. I mean, I've just put in all these hours to these games that I just know if I spend $60 on Fallout 4, I know I'm gonna get.
Yeah.
First day that I bought it, I was like, well, obviously 2 days into it, I mean, I already was like 15, 20 hours.
I haven't even put 10 hours in that game.
Yeah.
I can't.
It's a very much to each their own game.
And,
Which makes sense.
And we kind of discussed it a little bit earlier, but it's not a bad game. It is a good game.
Mm-hmm.
It is absolutely a good game.
Yeah.
It's just
nothing bad about it.
when we're talking about that value again, and we're bringing up, for example, like you said, production. This is an example of lack of production.
Absolutely.
It has the content.
In our opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when you take a game
It definitely has the content.
that is on a recycled, overused engine that has like little itty bitty increases for like fine details, and to the point where the engine can't handle it anymore. Like you had brought it before, building isn't flush with the environment because it's not designed to do that.
That engine never should
added
have meant
that.
to do that. Yeah.
And it's cool that you can do these things, but this is a nitpick.
It's like my favorite part of the
obviously.
game. It's building.
Yeah.
But Indie Game Arc has a better building system.
Rust, all those games,
Yeah.
they did it 100 times better.
Because they built the game
Yeah,
based off
'cause
that
they did
idea,
that, yeah.
And I think the big thing me and you especially are looking for is like love Bethesda games. Make a new engine, please. Make a new engine.
Yeah,
I just want to be
Seth
wowed
talked
by
about
it.
that a little bit.
And I don't want to get into like, this isn't Fallout loot chest, but
No, but this is a talk about value.
Definitely.
And that's a great new example of where people are going to differ.
the
on
thing
value.
though that me and you said earlier though was essentially, like we said, it's a good game, but it's a game we've played already.
Yeah.
So I feel like if I'm gonna rebuy that game, even though it's technically, of course, different,
Sure.
but it feels like 3 so much to me that I feel like I'm playing a game that I've already played, and I'm okay with rebuying it, I guess. But I want it to be lowered, kind of like if they re-release PlayStation 2 games, PlayStation 3 games, stuff like that.
But how do you feel? I mean, because we have this conversation too, and we both own it, and we both love it. But Call of Duty, it's essentially the same game every year.
Yeah. The thing with Call of Duty that's really interesting,
It's
and
little
in fact,
tiny things they change.
it's Black Ops 3. I would argue they changed a lot of shit. Black Ops 3 is the biggest wealth of content in Call of Duty since Black Ops. There's a lot to that disc. I'm not in any way.
But you're paying
upset
for
with it.
multiplayer is the whole thing too. It's
Absolutely.
like, that is absolutely a $60 multiplayer purchase.
Sure.
Yeah.
Call of Duty is a little different only because, and people hate Call of Duty 'cause it's popular, but Call of Duty is the king of what it does. There is no experience like Call of Duty. There's no game as tight shooting as Call of Duty. There's no game that's as familiarized in what makes it competitive as Call of Duty.
It's also casual. Very casual.
it can be casual,
Yeah.
but it can also be like a lot of people don't play hardcore. A lot of people do, but like a lot of people I know don't play hardcore. You can buy a Call of Duty and you know that you're going to get at least a 6 to 8 hour storyline now, which used to be the reason I played Call of Duty was the single player.
Right.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
It's a completely multiplayer game now. In fact, I always say it should be a service at this point because they just keep re-releasing it with essentially different modules. But you know you're going to get a single player that's going to be at least entertaining. The new Black Ops 3 single player is actually good. I like it. It has 4-player co-op, which is fucking awesome.
It's very fun. Yeah.
There is an alternate mode after you beat it. That's a zombie mode for single player. So you can play with 4 people again. There's zombie mode. There's this top-down fucking Dead Ops mode with little mini games in it now, like that racing mode and shit. New innovative for Call of Duty first person parts of that. Like they changed so much. It's just an advancement overall. They took everything that was great about the last one and they just made it better. There's nothing
Which just
that
seems
went
like
back.
Good. I mean, Treyarch's
the king of Call of Duty
content.
at this point.
Too.
Yeah. And then you get
the customizable shit. I mean, even just for the last game, because
definitely.
Black Ops 1 and 2 were just like, but like the amount of stuff that you can customize in that game are crazy. Like,
well, then you get the arguably, in my opinion, the best multiplayer shooter that exists. Technically, I don't necessarily mean interest-wise. You can be into Battlefield, but Battlefield's not as tight as a shooter. There's a reason why everybody goes to Call of Duty. It's not just because it's popular. It's because it just works so fucking well. That's the reason why they don't deviate too much. Is because people don't want to deviate, and that's the same argument for Fallout. But Fallout is made by a company that used to push and advance and make these big grand games, and then they've just kind of gotten lazy, in my opinion.
I would say the jump from like, even Skyrim, like even from like I would say, well, I mean, I think at that time, like even when Skyrim came out, Bethesda and Rockstar were like the two main companies.
Right.
And then even the jump from 4 to 5, I mean, because how long? I mean, they came Grand Theft Auto 4 and Skyrim came out around the same time, right? Or was that
Kind of, yeah.
I think it was a little bit after. Anyway, but even the jump from those games were like, it was like huge. I think at that point, Bethesda just got like left in the dust. Like they were just kind of like, well, we're still perfecting this system, blah blah blah, and then like Rockstar was just like, fuck this, boom.
Rockstar's
like,
an example of a company that constantly pushes themselves. So.
Yeah,
always. Well, that's why their videos that come out they don't even release trailers really anymore. They release like one big trailer with some cool music and shows a bunch of random scenes and shit that give you hints on what the game's gonna offer. But their last like 3 games, they've released the technology of this game because they're pushing it and they want to show you, dude. Yeah. We thought about in Max Payne 3, when you have a shotgun and you switch to a pistol, you still hold the shotgun and you're shooting.
That's so cool.
And people, aren't that impressed with it. I'm super impressed with that because no one's fucking doing that. Yeah. It makes it feel more real. They're going for that real cinematic feel. Rockstar used to be this company that had big ideas and just didn't care about what people thought, so they did all this like fucked up shit. But now they're this company that's like prestigious, and they're like, we take our fucking time when we make games, we take as long as we want, and we push every bit of technology that we did before even further to the point where we're trying to create this immersive experience that's unrivaled.
That's why Rockstar, I mean, to me, is on top. Other than I can't remember the company other than the dudes who do Witcher.
See, I was just getting ready to say the other company that is going to be the next company that prides itself on just making quality content no matter how long it takes is CD Projekt Red.
Absolutely.
Because they literally released a little bit of extra like information, and it was very small, about the Cyberpunk game, and they continuously at the end, it's always like when it's done. There's no, well, we have a 2-year plan for this. It's no. When we're done making the game,
awesome. And they got big plans for it. And after playing Witcher 3, which is my game of the year still, it is a good looking game with amazing atmosphere, interesting characters aside from Geralt. He's kind of stiff, but great combat system, new features, and just it's just a solid fucking game, and it respects its fan base and goes, thank you for being huge fans of our game. I hope you fucking love this game. We put a shitload of work into it.
You won an award, here's a discount.
Yeah, exactly. Awesome. Like The Witcher 3 is just like quality fucking AAA game making by a respectable company.
Do you dudes think that I mean, a timeline for a game to come out, do you think? I mean, that it absolutely has an effect on the product of the game.
I think each
it's
game
rushing. It's like a movie now.
Needs at least 3 years.
Yeah,
I don't like 2-year games.
especially
Say
next
2 is
gen
the-
now
is
when
the
we're
norm, though.
we're doing yeah.
Because Far Cry, we're gonna start getting more often. We're getting Primal. I'm really excited about it. But somebody's like, "Hey, isn't there a game like that on PC?" I'm like, "Yeah, Arc." And they pretty much
Yeah.
are trying to do that.
Now, here's
It's
what's
weird.
Here's what's funny, because we are talking about value, right? And we're talking about these now companies going into these 2-year projects. Like a game has a 2-year plan, or in Call of Duty's case, they've bumped it to 3 now, which I think definitely benefited in the last Call of Duty game.
Yeah.
But
Oh, you could see that last
Yeah.
year.
look
they
at
just
Assassin's
put more
Creed.
work into it.
As I mean, once again, we're talking about off camera here. That game comes out every year, but almost nothing changes anymore.
No, it's more like items. But the
And
core gameplay is pretty much the same.
Storyline,
And it's always
yeah,
neat for a
like,
couple hours, and then you're just kind of like, I'm
environment.
done.
The
Why-
environment's where the work is.
The environment
France
is
looked
cool.
great.
Well, and that little video I saw, a little bit of Syndicate, where London looks really cool too.
Yeah, character. Yeah.
But the problem is that you spend $60 on this game. I don't remember the last time I could sit through and play an Assassin's Creed all the way through anymore. I get bored.
I stopped at 2.
Yeah. No, yeah. I never beat 2. I haven't beat Assassin's Creed since.
I mean, 1. It was amazing that I got through 1.
Yeah.
And going thinking back.
They're long,
Thinking
man.
back
Yeah,
now,
they're
yeah.
long.
They're long
I will
games.
not go back.
I beat
and play
the
that
crap
game
out of the
again,
first
but
game.
They should like make the storylines maybe a little shorter and condensed and just give you all that extra shit if you want to keep
It wasn't even
going,
like
you know,
story. It
stuff.
was just like how many like tall buildings did I go on and jump off and land in the hay.
Yeah.
I just want to get everything on the map. It
When
was
it-
like
It's such a
Skyrim.
weird time too, because there are indie games that are out there right now which are half the price or cheaper, which offer more content than a lot of AAA games that cost
Yeah.
$60.
And that's why the conversation's interesting to have, is because indie gaming is the biggest it's ever been now, and a lot of indie games really offer up experiences that AAA games don't even give you. So that's why production is such a big deal for me. I mean, I can get hours and hours of content playing like Death Trap, or fucking any kind of game where you're like leveling, and fucking Torchlight 2 and shit like
Yeah.
that. Like
Yeah.
those games rival
good.
Diablo. I
Yeah.
mean, like they took less time to make, they took less people to make, they took less money to make. They cost less.
because the core ideas are in the same place. but
Exactly.
People are just kind of like
And they
You
might
just-
not be as finely
and a
tuned.
step back.
You just don't
Yeah,
have
yeah.
the same kind of animations, the same kind of graphic prowess. Typically, you don't have the content that follows, except for Payday 2 and Killing Floor, the original. Completely negate that because they
Yeah.
support those games. I mean, they're still supporting Payday 2.
Yeah.
That game is absolutely worth its fucking money.
It is. It's funny because I was going to bring this up. That's the game I was trying to think of earlier with microtransactions, but that's
Oh, yeah.
Payday 2. They just
Yeah.
came out with that saying that they're going to do that too, which they're trying to
People
backpedal.
kind of
But that game was already,
flipped
when it
out
came
on
out, was worth. I mean, we played the beta, I think. We played the beta?
Early
Was the beta
access,
out?
maybe.
Early access?
Yeah.
But I immediately was just like, "Yep, I'm buying this game. This game's amazing." I mean, I haven't played it since I bought it for full price, but it's still awesome. Like, it's just Rocket League. Rocket League is when I bought Rocket League, it was free. It was one of the games on PlayStation Plus, and essentially even that game being free for me. I mean, I know I pay $50 a year. For PlayStation Plus, but that game
They started doing that. I pay
essentially $20, and I've put in more hours of that game than any game I've bought on the PS4. It's so fun. Like
Yeah.
you have to like multiplayer stuff, but it's just one of those games.
The thing that drives that game too, literally drives it, is the competitiveness. They literally just give you an arena and a
Yeah.
ball, and you
good
guys, the people who are
physics.
playing, are making the content essentially,
Mm-hmm.
and not obviously the visual one, but like the enjoyment you're getting is just having that set structure of a sport and you play. That's my argument for Rainbow Six Siege is it is a very competitive, tight team organized tech shooter, and that's exactly what I wanted, and
Sure.
it gave me exactly what I wanted. So I completely, and it's funny because the $6 game, $20 game,
yeah, it's
but
nuts. Like
that just goes into time investment, like Shelby was talking about earlier. You've put in a shitload of hours.
And in this game, Rocket League won, and I cannot remember off the top of my head the developer, but they've won a bunch of awards just at
Really?
the video game
Yeah, they won
that is.
sports game
Yeah.
and racing game, I believe.
Because
Really?
I mean, they just
Yeah.
passed. It
Wow.
was just like, I think it was like 4 million people played Rocket League, which is kind of nuts. I mean, thinking about it, I mean,
Yeah.
Oh, and did they win indie game as well?
I'm pretty sure they did
Yeah,
because they won a lot of awards. Yeah, but this game, the way they, I
That's
mean, obviously a
fucking
game
crazy.
like they want to make money. What they do is, I paid $3.99 for a for Back to the Future Day. They had the DeLorean
Yeah.
that came out, and I paid $4 for that. I was like, this is cool. I'm buying it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, is it $4 cool? Probably not, but it's awesome. I'm getting
That
it.
that is the
And
fucking.
it's all cosmetic.
That's
like,
the way
it
it
doesn't
works
matter.
though. When you
Yeah.
play a game you enjoy, like, and you're invested in, you want to keep playing it. You know
Yeah.
you're gonna keep playing it. It's the money aspect that starts to kind of go away. You're just like, I want that.
Paid
So
to
yeah.
play MMOs.
Yeah.
Like
Warframe. I've put like $300 in that
Well,
game.
absolutely. We spent a lot of money
bought
on
a
that,
console.
but like,
Yeah.
you know, I enjoy Final Fantasy 14. I don't play as much as I used to, but like that's a, you know, for me, $15 a month game. And usually I prefer a free to play experience, but in this case, it's worth the money because, like clockwork, on a schedule, content is released.
Yeah.
And
The expected content's a good thing. I like that there is. You can rely on that.
yeah, so
That's where your money's going. I get that.
like you had said that Call of Duty should become a service, this is an example of a service that works like a fucking, like a clock. It
Yeah.
just, it works the way it's supposed to. So you are getting a value because they're not just like, here's this game, and in order to play, it's $15 a month. See you when the expansion comes out. It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's like content. And Warframe is a great example of that. It's like every
Warframe is a
6
great
to 8
example.
weeks something
Yeah.
comes out for Warframe. I mean, it's
Destiny is
crazy.
a horrible example of that.
Destiny's a horrible example
It's like
of that. It's
complete
why there's no
opposite.
monthly fee to that
Yeah.
game, even though I'm sure they'd love to.
Oh, they wanted to.
so. But they
Same thing
can't.
with Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
I remember when that came out, I was like, "There's no fucking way I'm paying."
Oh,
And
dude.
then when it came free to play, I was like,
I
know
bought
it.
it. I bought it when it came out.
I did
I
too.
did not pay for a card, or not card. I didn't pay for time though. I played the first month. I was like, yeah, it's okay, but it's exactly what I thought. I don't want to pay them
Yeah.
for this a month, so I didn't, and I just fell out of it.
But with the whole Rocket League things, like, I'm completely okay because they constantly do. I mean, they just came out with you essentially playing Thunderdome from Mad Max. It's like post-apocalyptic.
Yeah, I heard they had
There's
that.
new cars that come out, and it's funny because you could have an argument, but like most of the cars don't have like they don't have different specs, but they are different. Like if you play a more like I play in like which is basically a Lamborghini. Like it turns quicker, stuff like that. But you can drive vans and stuff like that. Stuff like that's different. So they keep coming out with new cars, and they're different. So I mean, when you buy these packs, which is crazy because the map packs are free. Like when the game comes out, when the update comes out, the maps are free.
Oh, that's good.
You can pay for the cars and the customizable stuff. They also do Christmas and last Halloween. They do stuff. You can have toppers for your antenna, toppers for your car. I got a cool one where like you have rocket boosts, and when I go into a boost, bats and candy corn shoot out the back of the car. I'm like, that's
pretty
awesome.
cool, yeah.
Well, and
No,
Now it's
sounds like they
snow,
support the game.
and it's like snowman on the top.
They're gonna be
of
adding the
thing.
portal.
Portal. No, they just did.
Repulsion gel or something like that. Where the fuck it's called?
No, they just did. So you can
Yeah.
have like there's like cake that you can have on top of your car.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
just pointing at the card, I'm going to be adding them.
Oh yeah. Yeah, no, I'm always really happy to hear anyone supporting their game like that, especially when a game succeeds and is making the money. It's good to see them actually put work back into it, unlike Cube World, which could have been the next huge fucking thing.
Still working on it, though.
And, well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, just to sum it up, because we should be finishing this up a little bit. I think it's all fair points. I think content is a huge factor, of course.
Very cool.
Production, I think, for me, is the biggest thing. That's what differentiates your indies from your AAA games. And then, of course, time investment, which I do think is something to absolutely be thinking about, because who wants to spend, the more money you spend, less time you have in it. Like, that's disappointing. Like, you're not DayZ. I've put a lot of hours into DayZ.
But the actual
standalone?
DayZ.
Yeah. It's good sometimes.
It's the same game, I guarantee, than when we started playing.
There's a truck.
Oh, that's cool.
They finally put a truck in
Armor
it.
3.
Yeah.
That's cool.
But yeah. Anything you guys want to finish off on with that?
No, I mean, obviously when it comes down to value, it's going to be, people's personal opinions on that.
What are you
and we've
excited
already kind
about?
of shown that we have similar ideas, but we also have, like, different focal points. Like, you said content, you said production, and I said, like,
Time investment.
time versus
pretty
dollar.
much.
Sure. So...
Yeah, my biggest thing is it was just the Siege thing got brought up to me, and I was just thinking, like, it just sucks that someone's expectations of a feature that was never promised in the game would make somebody want to devalue the game because it's not for them. I think it's a really weird thing, because even like a game like Fallout 4, which I'm underwhelmed with, I can just accept that that's me, though. I'm not like, you guys are playing a shitty game. That's just me going, it's not exactly what I wanted, but I'm not like, fuck that game, it's awful. Like, you shouldn't
Well, that's not true.
Exactly. So it's just, and we'll have to do a loot chest on it at some point, but, like, it's just self-entitled people going, like, they didn't do what I wanted. It's like when someone fucking watched the movie, and it's like, it didn't end the way I wanted it to, so fuck that guy, you should remake it. Or the Mass Effect 3 thing. Just people bitching a bitch. But yeah, what do you guys think? What makes a game worth $60 to you? Do you think there's a big difference between indie games and AAA games nowadays? Let us know in the comments below. And for fun, let us know what indie game would you have probably spent $60 on? That wasn't. I probably would have spent $60 on Ark, to be honest.
Thinking back on it now, absolutely.
Yeah, just the amount of content in it. But yeah, that's going to do it for this week's Loot Chest on Tasty Loot Gaming. Thank you for watching as always. Check us out on Tumblr and Twitter, Tasty Loot Gaming. Check us out on Twitch, Sleep Division, all one word. And have a great weekend. My name's Seth.
Chevy?
I'm Cody.
And we will see you on Tuesday. Take it easy, guys.